Controller General, Nigeria Correctional Service, Jafaru Ahmed, has appealed to civil society organizations to collaborate with relevant agencies to ensure full implementation of the 2019 Nigeria Correctional Service Act assented by President Muhammadu Buhari. He said, counting on the contribution of the CSOs to providing support to facilities as well as speeding up the process of cases of persons awaiting trials. Effective implementation of the Correctional Act is achievable through collaboration as it is in line with Section 8 Subsection 6 of the legal framework governing the administration of the Service Act. Speaking during a webinar workshop for civil society organizations on the new Correctional Service Act, Jafaru therefore calls for both national and international engagement so as to achieve the set goals.
The provision of the NCOS Act 2019 that support this collaboration includes, and I will say Section 8, Subsection 6 of the Act says the Deputy Controller General in charge of non-custodial service in each state, a controller in each of states of the Federation that is in charge of non-custodial activities in the state shall be implemented by the civil and in collaboration with the civil society organization. Section 21, Subsection C say, and I quote, custodial center visiting committee which shall be set up by the minister in consultation with the state authority shall consist of reputable members of society and non-governmental organizations. Section 37, subsection 3H states, and I quote, the National Committee on Non-Custodial Measures shall consist of 3 representatives of non-governmental organizations working in relevant sector. In addition to these provisions, the civil society organizations has contributed immensely in the area of providing support to facilitate the speedy disposal of cases of persons awaiting trial. I would like, therefore, to see this opportunity to thank all the civil society organizations, especially PRAWA, and international organizations like European Union, INL, ROLAC, UNODC, British Council, etc., who have been supporting the Nigerian Correctional Service. And I look forward to a more collaborative and useful collaboration with all the stakeholders in this field so that together we can achieve the desired goal of positioning the Nigerian Correctional Service to have the best international practice.
Meanwhile, the Executive Director, Prisoners Rehabilitation and Welfare Action PRAWA, Dr. Uju Agomo, while lamenting on the slow rate of justice administration as well as the multiplicity of agencies, thus resulting in the influx of pre-trial detainees, including inadequate data capturing. However, calls for more transformation to enable a comprehensive approach so as to mitigate risk factors associated with detained persons.
Know about the slow pace of administration of justice, where instances abound where people can stay 10 years and more, and yet from the point when they have been arrested to the point when the conclusion of the matter, including the conviction or non-conviction and sentencing happens, you see several years passing. When I say 10 years, it is being modest. We have had instances where some persons have been awaiting trial for 21 years. A specific case of this happened not too long ago, and the only reason we were able to find that particular individual was because through the case management system, we were able to identify that that person was the longest serving awaiting trial in the particular state in question. Okay, but beyond the issue of the slow pace of administration of justice, it's actually the one particular problem that seems not to want to leave Nigeria alone, and that is the issue of having a high number of pre-trial detainees. The issue of having a long duration in terms of pre-trial detention. I've always said severally that if we must control the issue of overcrowding in terms of certain correctional centers that are in cosmopolitan area, or in terms of reducing the number of persons who are actually in pretrial detention, we must control 2 issues. One is the rate of reception into custody. The other is the duration in custody. So pretrial detainees are a big problem, and we are dealing with over 70% of the population in custody and here I'm talking about in correctional centers, in custodial centers that are run by the correctional centers, that are in custody that are awaiting trial persons or pre-trial detainees. And if I use the word awaiting trial, I'm using it in a very general term, which includes also those who have started going to court in terms of their cases. But the key thing is that their cases have not been decided upon. They have not been convicted. And I said 70% in terms of a national, is a lot in terms of our dispensation of justice. Every offender that have committed an offense, the effects of what that offender have done is not only what the offender himself is faced with, but also there are individuals, both victims, both communities that this commission of that of crime have actually affected. So if we take somebody and put the person in detention, it doesn't matter how many years a person stays or comes out. If we have not addressed the hurt that have happened to that community or the victims that have been affected, it means that we do not have a comprehensive approach to the administration of justice. And this is why the quality of the justice that is dispensed is actually a problematic issue. Again, our traditional criminal justice system have actually promoted this, but we've lost it. And that's why you will see this bit and also see some of the things that are provided in the new act in terms of addressing also this particular issue.
That we need non-state actors in this process. And I'll tell you that government agencies cannot make it without state actors, non-state actors. And non-state actors actually activate and reactivate what the measures the government is supposed to be doing. Without them, we'll not be able to do exactly what the law provides that we are supposed to be doing. Let me start by saying that correctional services, both institutional and non-custodial, rely heavily on the support it receives from community-based organizations. These organizations are not just referral centers where we do, take our offenders to get services, but rather they provide what we call the social capital, which has been known to be the most important instrument in the transformation of an offender, be they in the community or in custody. And in this regard, it is therefore incumbent upon all non-state actors to see the genesis or the generation of the development of the Nigerian Correctional Services Act as an opportunity to entrench their services with the government. Now, it does mean that the government would be abdicating its responsibility, but rather it means that the government provides them with an opportunity to work together. It is multi-agency approach that works. And of course, studies have shown that single programs do not effect change in human beings. And it is when government and non-state actors combine efforts and use different methods do we see change in offenders who are under our supervision.